Bring it up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team steal it away. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh, Graham Rucker for the touchdown. Graham shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Friday. I'm Brandon Beam hanging out tonight with Murph Dog. We got our guy Nate Dog as well, the Double Dog Friday night. Patrick, happy Friday to you.
Thanks, you too.
What's happening?
Not much. It was a busy day after we had our show out at Yogi's yesterday.
It was a great time.
That was a great time. I wore my Yogi's hat.
You did
not wear your Yogi's hat.
I did. I actually wore it today. I went and visited Shark. It was his 65th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Last time I saw him was on his retirement day on Tuesday. This was supposed to be his original retirement date, but something with Medicaid, Medicare, possibly Affleck. This didn't kick in for like another month if he retired on the 11th, so he retired on the 1st, and we'd been trying to set up a play date between William and Pia, his granddaughter, his daughter's daughter, and we figured, it was like, this is a nice little Friday. I went to his house, I went to his pool, and got to hang out with him. So I did wear my Yogi's hat today when I was over there hanging out, but that was a great time this morning.
Yeah, I got in the car and looked in the mirror, and I was like, I'm wearing Michigan colors.
Yeah, you are.
I decided on the drive here I would call them Rams colors.
Okay, yeah, you are a Rams fan.
Yeah, so
The shading is off, though. You're fine.
yeah, it's a crew shirt and a blue hat.
Yeah, it trends more Rams colors than Michigan colors.
Yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube, I apologize if this hurts your eyes.
We got a great show lined up for you here on this Friday evening. Do a little Caleb Downs talk right out of the gates. Before we get to that, though, Bobby Carpenter on the Bobby Carpenter Show had Keenan Bailey on, tight ends coach at Ohio State. Really good interview. So we'll play some of that in the 6 o'clock and the 7 o'clock hour. 10 TV's beautiful Adam King. He's going to join us coming up here at 6:30 this evening for Beers and Buckeyes with Pat Murphy. But you're already here, so we're going to talk to Adam. We'll do Power 5. So different Power 5 every week here. This one I was thinking about last night, Pat, when we were doing the arch villains talk and just like everyone's like kind of arch nemesis. Power 5 most unlikable figures, people, teams, things in college football. So give you some time to workshop that. I've got my 5. I think they'll be pretty good. We'll do the Pulse at 7 o'clock. And then if there's one area to trip Ohio State up this year, an area of concern, what is it? We'll get to that at 7:30. But we'll start with some Caleb Downs stuff, Pat. You actually pointed me to this article by is it Stefan or Stefan? Stefan of Cleveland.com.
Yep. Stefan Kreishnik, as Jerry Emig likes to say.
Stefan Kreishnik. Really good article. I would encourage you to go read it. He actually had a sit-down one-on-one talk with Ohio State star Caleb Downs. And the thing I like most about here is that Caleb Downs is just golf obsessed.
It does seem that way.
Yeah, the first line of the article from Caleb Downs, he said, I'm a golfer. How many times do you play? 3 or 4, sometimes 5. Like, hey, man, get it in while you can because you know that time is about to end as soon as you get to the end of July. So get as many rounds as you possibly can in, Caleb.
Yeah, I think if you are an Ohio State athlete any Ohio State athlete, probably, if you want to go hit some balls, it's probably available to you.
Yep.
And especially if you are someone like Caleb Downs, and I know a lot of guys on the team do this in their downtime. They are there's a pretty big group. I'm sure Austin could speak to it too. I know he's done some stuff with the team on some of the golf simulators. But yeah, cool thing that it's kind of a bonding experience. I know Julian Fleming, who obviously left for Penn State before last season and came back, was a really big golfer.
Mecca, really big golfer. Yes. I think Lathan got out with him a couple of times.
Yeah, Caleb, I believe, mentions Sonny Styles in there as well. So yeah, it's good to, you still being competitive, still going out, but it's a very different kind of thing.
It's a low impact sport.
Yeah, and you can still have your fun with it and whatnot. But you're a golfer. I'm not a golfer.
But you like everything about golf except for actually golfing. You like to be outside. You like riding in golf carts, and you like drinking ice cold Coors Lights.
Yes. Here is the problem: is that I never learned how to golf.
There's still plenty of time,
I guess, but I don't like doing things that I'm not at least decent at.
Fair. That's how my wife is.
Yeah, and so going out, the one time I went was a bachelor party for my buddy Matt, and we went, and I had a fun time. But the other thing is a lot of guys go super early, and as you know from trying to get me on the morning juice, I'm not much of a morning person. So
you're more fit for 6 p.m. than 6 a.m.
Yeah, I've thought about, we have mutual friends that do those golf simulator leagues in the evening. I could get in on that.
It's a good place to learn on a simulator.
Yeah. So maybe someday. I also don't have the time that Caleb Downs has to just go golf.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff. I mean, you're engaged. You got wedding planning stuff. You're cleaning the house at all hours of the day. You're writing articles. You're doing all kinds of different things. In this article, it chronicles how Caleb Downs found out he was a cover athlete of the new EA Sports college football game. And he said, dang, at the end of the day, in 15 to 20 years, I can tell my son, tell my daughter that your dad's on the cover of a video game. That's something that a lot of people can't say. It was a blessing just because we had thought the whole season together. Our relationships have all grown together, talking about Ryan Day and the championship season. To be in that situation, it's surreal. I mean, yeah, that's a mantelpiece. You buy the hard copy of that game and you get it framed with a jersey or something, a picture of you, maybe return of the punt against Indiana from last year or some memorable moments to come here last year. Like that's a pretty cool thing for Caleb Downs to have forever. That's a forever thing.
Right. It's like I've heard LeBron talk about, I know it's a little different, but the cover of Sports Illustrated when he was in high school, the one that dubbed him the king. I think that anytime you get to do something like that, and obviously LeBron has gone on to be on the cover of probably lots and lots of things, and I think Caleb probably will too, but I think things like that, especially at an early stage of your career when it's like, wow, like Caleb knows he's good. Let's be honest here. He's one of the best.
Yeah, we all know he's good too.
In fact, he tweeted, I don't know if he tweeted it, but it came from his account recently of like the best defensive back in college football. It had a video of his highlights. But to then go see it, like you go in and you take that shoot, and I bet it was really cool, but you don't really think about it, I imagine, until you actually see it.
Like the end product.
Yeah, at a store, or it shows up in the mail, or you download the game on your system and it pops up there like, wow, I'm really
that's
there.
me.
Yeah. And you're
EA
not just
Sports,
in the game.
I'm in the game.
Right. He was in the game last year. That's a cool thing too. But then you're on the cover of the game, which is a whole different thing.
On his motivation for 25, Stefan writes here, in 2 seasons at one Alabama, one at Ohio State, Downs has collected a vast list of accolades ranging from a SEC Freshman of the Year to national champion. At both stops, he lost to Michigan, also yet to win a Big Ten title. Those aren't hurdles in his mind, though. He said, I try to look at every game as the same thing. At the end of the day, I'm only trying to prepare one day at a time. That's the only thing that I can control. I can't say I'm looking at those bigger goals and bigger aspirations throughout the season. I'm really just trying to prepare every day to make sure that when it comes, that I'm prepared to play. Whatever his mindset is, whatever he's been doing has obviously been proved to work. So keep that mindset, Caleb, because through the first couple of years of your college football career, one at Alabama, one here at Ohio State, it's been nothing short of magnificent.
That's real maturity to be able to not only say that, but then back it up with the way that he has played in his first 2 years. I think a lot of guys know that, but then with everything going on, social media, all the things that they go through, you're walking around campus, you're out on the golf course and people are talking to you about things.
Mm-hmm.
Like to have the mentality to take it one day at a time is pretty remarkable. And clearly he has done that. Achieved a lot. You mentioned he still has goals he wants to achieve. I think that's important too. And if it's not beating Michigan, if it's not winning a Big Ten title, if he'd already done that, there are still things I imagine he would like to do.
Well, and their mantra last year was day by day, brick by brick, right? I mean, they had the bricks that they laid the foundation of, and like each and every brick, each and every practice, they added a brick, or every week that they did to there. So it kind of goes along with that mantra. So in concerning himself with the present, Downs, who said he's feeling good after a nagging injury limited him in the spring, has been leading voice in quieting the past. And we had heard about that, Pat, like during spring ball, how him and Sonny and some veterans on this team asked for some stuff to be taken down in the Woody. Like, we didn't win that. Those guys who just left for the NFL draft, like, they were the reasons. This is a whole new team. Take it down. Take the banners down. We don't want any of that. We want our own motivation. He said, we had the agreement that at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who we were last year as a team. We've got a different group of guys. We've got different people that are in different positions. So we had to reset and forget about last year. That's a heck of an attitude to have because, I mean, we see it in professional sports. You see it in amateur sports. Like, you win a national championship, you win a Super Bowl, you win an NCAA championship, like whatever it may be, it's easy to rest on your laurels.
Yes.
And to have a guy like Sonny Siles and especially Caleb Downs saying, take that stuff down. This is an entire different team. We don't want these guys behind us to get comfortable. Boy, that's some pretty impressive stuff, some leadership.
I recorded a podcast today with one of the guys from our Georgia 24/7 sports site talking about the year that Georgia went back-to-back and kind of the stuff that went into that behind the scenes and mentality and stuff. And that was one of the similarities was they had some young guys. They had some guys leave. They had some young guys that had to step in. And they had a similar situation where they went to the stadium and there was something up about the national championship the year before. And one of the guys or several of the guys were like, take that down. Not while we're here. Like, save it for the season. And there are a lot of similarities, I think, between those two teams that we could get into a show about. But I think that mentality is similar. And I think that's really good.
Tight ends coach at Ohio State, Keenan Bailey. He joined Carp on his show. And how does he see this year's room compared to years past? You're going to hear from him coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
They're trained. They're prepared. Let's do it. They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu is adding some pals. Donato's savory and delicious family recipe meatballs are now on the Pizza Pals menus, along with new Oreo twists. Sweet, delicious pull-apart twists with real Oreo cookie pieces drizzled with vanilla icing. You can order unlimited $5 Pizza Pals with any large pizza. So order today and load up on all the Pizza Pals you want. Donato's, gotta love more.
It's Kubota Orange Days. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs, get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,500 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Visit BuckeyeKubotaDealers.com to find a dealer near you.
It's hot out. Stay in the house and cool yourself with the sweet sounds of The Fan. You can watch on YouTube or tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 The Fan. It's the equivalent of putting ice cubes down your pants. All right! The Fan.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Fan weather
from the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Barron. Scattered shower and storm chance can't totally be ruled out this afternoon and evening, but it should come to an end overnight. Temperatures will slowly make their way down into the 80s and eventually low 70s. Saturday will start off dry, but we'll see temperatures hit the low 90s in the afternoon. That'll prompt scattered showers and storms, some that could be strong, so stay weather aware. More widespread rain threat comes through on Sunday. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Barron on 97.1 The Fan.
The best damn radio show in the land. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Got our guy Murph Dog, Patrick Murphy, hanging out with us tonight. Coming up here 6:30. Beers and Buckeyes with Pat Murphy, except instead of Pat, we're going to talk to Adam King of 10 TV.
I'll still be here.
Well, yeah.
Are you kicking Pat out?
No, we're not going to kick Pat out.
I just have to leave.
We are going to play the sounder, though. We're going to play Pat's sounder when Adam comes in. So that'll be a fantastic time. I was watching the Bobby Carpenter show with Schlegs. Always good time watching those guys do what they do, and they get some access, obviously, being former players, and Schlegs being a former strength coach on the staff. And it was funny because I was texting Bob. I was like, hey, do you mind if I cut up some of the Keenan Bailey sound for the show? And he goes, you wouldn't believe this, because Bob books all the guests, like on his show. And when we did the show together, like I'd book some guests, he'd book some guests. Schlegs never booked anybody.
Right.
And he texted me back, and he goes, you wouldn't believe this. Schlegs actually booked Keenan Bailey. First guest he ever booked.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, look at him
He's
go.
growing up.
Right? He's growing up right before our eyes. And I thought that was pretty funny. So this is from his show. You can go watch the whole thing. It's really good. And it kind of gives you a deep dive into what Keenan Bailey's mindset is, what the mindset is in the tight end room. And this was pretty fantastic that they just... in that room, they are taught to be tough guys, which is how I like my tight ends to be.
It was kind of refreshing. We brought in Will Casimiric, who I identified, I thought was like the biggest badass in the portal. He didn't even start at OU. He was a great addition. But like the whole mantra, that first meeting, I brought him in and I said, guys, you're the least talented group on the team. And like they kind of look at you sideways because everyone has pride. But like you go up and down the hall, like no one's talking about the tight end. So the first meeting, I showed him a clip from that Jordan documentary of the Detroit Pistons, the Bad Boys. And like the Bulls could not freaking beat them. And the Bulls had all these all-stars. And you guys remember it, like the Pistons just beat the shit out of the Bulls. And these were the baddest dudes on the court. No one messed with them. They went the hardest. I said, guys, that's got to be us. If we are not the hardest playing group on the team, the toughest group on the team, at times we got to be pricks, then we're not going to hit our goals. And I firmly believe that. And like there was definitely times where like we definitely crossed the line, for sure. Like myself, my GA Sean Binks was a freaking all-star. Like definitely like we needed to simmer down. Like Chip Kelly pulled me aside. Our first away game, our first Big Ten game was an away game at Michigan State. And the first drive, Kaz gets a 15-yard penalty because he bodied at the end. And like he might have did like a little extra, but like, and like Coach Kelly observed that I didn't really get on him like that. Because I told him, I said, first 15-yarder, like I'm not talking about a headbutt. I'm talking about I'm taking a guy against his will and putting him down. Like that's on me. Like I'm never going to tell you not to do that. Never. Now we got to learn how to practice and do all that sort of thing. But Coach Kelly's like, I don't know if we can have that. I mean, you fast forward 8 months, like you just said, like we get to the playoffs. The first play against Tennessee, I said, Coach, throw it behind my tight ends. We got Kaz and G out there. Kaz bodied a Tennessee DB on the perimeter. G blocked this guy out of bounds. We popped it off. Like you fast forward to the national championship game, 4 tight ends on the field in the red area, all the Heartlines, first round receivers, watching 14 personnel, and we're just smashing skulls in. So like it kind of worked. I think you get what you emphasize. And like this year we knew it in the tight end room, we had to be a bunch of tough guys off.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it PG.
Yeah, he was trying. He let it loose a couple of times. I did a poor couple of edits right there, but
nothing more fun as the producer to hear a poor edit.
Yeah, but I did it, Nate. I did it. All right, it did the job. I wanted to make sure everybody got the sense of intensity coming from Keenan Bailey. But I mean, the whole thing is really good, Pat. We'll listen to it here throughout the program tonight. But it's something different about tight ends, and he chronicled that. Like, I want you to be the meanest, nastiest suckers on this football field. And Will Kazmarek in the first road game of the season against Michigan State, first drive, boop, 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 15 yards. Chip Kelly has to talk him down a little bit, and then you fast forward to the end of the season. Like, those guys played their absolute tails off.
Absolutely. I pulled up the Michigan State box score, and that penalty actually was costly. It was 1st and 10 on Michigan State's 10, and the penalty knocks them back to the Michigan State 21, and they end up kicking a field goal. So while I completely understand what Keenan's doing, I think, like, you go on to win 38-7, it's okay. That sets a tone. I think he also had to, after that, like, Chip Kelly's right.
Well,
right?
It's walking a fine line, right?
Exactly. And look, they needed to be that way. This wasn't, we were talking yesterday about this room and how now with Max Clare and Jelani Thurman coming along, like, maybe they make a much bigger impact in the passing game this year. But you didn't need them to do that last year, and that wasn't their skill set. G. Scott, despite being a receiver, he'd become a really rugged type player. Obviously, Will Kazmarek, you heard Keenan talk about him. Bennett Christian's coming back. So that was the way that they needed to play. The way that team needed them to play is just being bad guys, like you said. And
just go out there and be maulers.
Yeah, and look, as a tight end, and Keenan's talked about this, you have to be able to block like an offensive lineman as well as the best offensive lineman on the team. You have to be able to run routes like Jeremiah Smith and catch the ball and do all those things.
Maybe not like that, but I understand your point.
That is the goal, right? Is you have to be able to do all of that stuff. It's probably, outside a quarterback, one of the most complicated positions to play because
you have to just be so versatile.
Yes, absolutely. And so, this team needed more of that, especially early in the season. But again, they made some big, we talked about it yesterday, that G. Scott play in the Rose Bowl to start the game, that catch. Like, they made some big plays. The Jelani Thurman,
the 4-for-1 special.
Yeah. So, Keenan's getting the best out of that room, and I think he recognizes, and that's a really special trait to recognize. This is what I need to do with these guys, and maybe they're not going to get all the recognition, but I'm going to make sure.
And we don't recognize them enough.
No, and it's because of the stats, and that's just the way that the sport works these days. But he recognizes them, and I think the rest of the team, like if you're in those champions meetings and things like that, I think they get recognized plenty for what they do.
So how does last year's room, which he was talking about being maulers, compare to what he expects this year's room to be?
Obviously, we had this over year. And then last year, we had to be a bunch of mauling badasses, and we were that. This year is kind of going to be fun because I'm not shying away from anything. Like, we should be the best tight end room in the country. And I know, like, oh, my gosh, we're at Ohio State. Like, if I'm not going to say that, if that's not the expectation, they should get a new tight end coach. Like, seriously. We can't just have the best DBs, best receivers. And I'm not just saying that. I really do think that we have the best tight end room in the country, top to bottom. I think we had last year the best run blockers in the country, and now we just went out and they're all coming back. And then, or at least most of them are. Then we went out and got arguably the best receiving tight end in college football in Max as far as production goes. So I think the room is stacked. It's super deep. Kind of irritates me when I, hear people talk about tight end rooms across the country, and they kind of think about Ohio State as just a receiver school or just a running back. Like, so I have to kind of keep my mouth shut and just say, keep going to work, and we'll see what happens this year. But my expectation, we should be the best tight end room in the country. Like you said it, Coach Schleggs, like you get guys who have played in big moments, like Kaz and Bennett and Lonnie. Those are some big athletes right there, man. And they all played. I mean, all 6 of my guys played in the playoffs. I only have 6 in the room. Like, there was no one in the room that didn't play in the freaking playoffs. So to hear that we don't play tight ends, it just sends me. But then we add a Max Clare. Max LeBlanc is 240-something now. Nate Roberts came in the winter, and I think he's going to have a great career here. And then we added Brody Lennon. So super deep, and excited to see what we do. But, yeah, this is not just going to be a run block and all that. Like, we should be the most balanced tight end room also as far as catching the pass and doing all those other things.
I think it's a testament to his room, too, and he was very emphatic about all 6 of his guys playing in the playoffs. It's not like you're playing in some low-stakes game. It's not like you're getting guys in just to get in. He talked about it. Like, we're running 14 personnel, and it wasn't a little dig at Brian Hartline, but he's like, hey, we're on the goal line if we need to score. Like, put 4 of my guys on the field when we're down in the red zone, if we need to punch it in, if we need to get 1 or 2 yards. And the fact that Ryan Day and Chip Kelly realized that and said, okay, we can rely on you guys to get this done ultimately, I think is the biggest hat tip that you can give to a coach.
I also think it is really funny how the coaches have their own kind of competition
They do.
Of their guys,
They do.
right? And I think if you're around the program, you know that. But to hear him talk about that, just the comment about Brian Hartline, that's a guy he worked for and loves, right? But
and recruits for him, does a really good job.
Yeah, but he recognizes he wants his room, the tight ends, to be looked at like Brian Hartline has made that receiver room, right? Yeah. And so I think it's great when he points something out like that, like huge moment, playoff, championship, all that.
Our guys are on the field.
It's our guys. Everyone knows about the other guys, the wide receivers, all that. But yeah, look, to have that ability at Ohio State where you don't think about tight ends is really important. And I think that now you're seeing it build, right? You're seeing a Max Clare decide to, he's an Ohio kid, but decide to come back to Ohio State and like, hey, I see what you're doing here. I want to learn maybe the blocking side a little bit more. I'm already a good receiver. I'm going to go to Ohio State and become a complete tight end. You saw them get Jelani Thurman. Will Kazmarik's a guy who is underrated,
He's
I think,
a grinder.
for sure. And so you're building that room, no doubt about it.
Adam King of 10 TV. He's going to join us coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
The big one is back. The Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals presented by PPG. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Over 6,000 of the nation's baddest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Don't miss Good Guys autocross racing action. A tire-smoking burnout competition. A pro street takeover. Earth-shaking nitro thunderfest. Meet the top builders in the industry and more. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Drink up, Slappy. It's time for Beers and Buckeyes with Patrick Murphy.
Substituting in for Patrick Murphy tonight, we have 10 TV's Adam King. Even though Pat is here, we decided that we wanted to play the music still.
That's interesting. So it's just you do a segment every Friday?
I did, yeah. Now I'm here most Fridays. So
well,
one Friday we called Beam's buddy Michael Bennett on the show.
Okay.
Just out of nowhere.
As long as Pat is here on Fridays, what we're going to do is just have a different person on and we're just going to randomly call them to see if they pick up the phone.
I like that.
Yeah. And
you just happen to walk in.
Yeah.
That's true. I was just wandering. I was sauntering around the...
You said, what are these guys doing in here?
I said, I wonder what those mics do. Do they go out to people?
They turn on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're very good.
Are people listening?
Not many.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, not many. How was your trip to Spain?
It was beautiful.
Where did you all go?
We went to Barcelona.
Catalonia. Nice.
Yeah, and then we went to Mallorca.
Okay.
Which is an island in the middle of the Mediterranean.
Sounds lovely.
You guys hear that too?
I did.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was because you said Mallorca.
Nothing happened, nothing to see. Move along.
Every time you say Mallorca here, it just boom, it popped the music.
There's just Irish music playing.
As obviously, I mean, hey, are you Irish?
A little bit.
Wow.
I'm actually, I think, more Scottish than Irish. But
are you?
You know, with the name Patrick Murphy and a beard that turns pretty red, though it is getting a little gray.
Are you getting gray?
There's some gray in there.
Yeah, it's a tough scene. The side of my head is going gray too.
Ooh, are you getting Mr. Fantastic look?
No, I'm not. First of all, no. Second of all, I'm starting to get a little salt. Starting to get a little salt in there.
You know, I will say for men, the salt looks good. For men, it's like, okay, that guy's distinguished.
Yeah, I think it's just the stress of having a 2-year-old, which is really
that'll get you.
has really got me very good. So your trip was good. You had a great time. How many days were you there for?
Like a week.
Okay.
It was great. I'd never been to Spain, but I loved the tapas.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of tapas.
Well, and for the people out there who don't know, who've never traveled to Spain, they eat dinner at like midnight, right?
They do everything in Spain, and so. That was something that someone first told me, and I was like, yeah, all right, well, I'm going to eat dinner when I eat dinner. Like there was one night we sat down to eat at 11:15, and I was like, what is happening? And it's not like, oh, well, do they sleep until noon over there? Nope, they're up 9 a.m.
They take naps in the day. They're siestas.
Yeah, they close everything down, don't they? Like in the middle of the day?
And then they come back.
I think I could get behind that lifestyle. 100%. That sounds nice.
You know how much I would love if we just decided as a workplace, like, hey, you know what? Between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, we're just going to shut it down. Everybody take a nap. Pull out your cot, like kindergarten.
Yeah.
Everybody get your cot, lay down, we'll all take a nap.
I think the world would be a better place if more people took just shut it down in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Get some rest that you didn't get at night. You'll be good.
Do you take naps?
Now that I used to take.
Well, I guess when you were doing.
I used to take naps. I would have a nap with Willie, so he would go down at like noon. Wake up at 3 on a good day.
There's your siesta.
Yeah, and then I would swiftly follow him and like fall asleep at 12:30, make sure that he was asleep, and then get up at 2. So I'd catch like an hour and a half, 2 hours in the middle of the day.
What happens if Willie wakes up while you're napping?
So then I would just mute the monitor and say, "Good luck, sir. You can't get out of your crib.
Have fun in there."
Yeah, you'd be fine. You're all right. You can't hurt anything in there.
I don't have a child. I would have no idea of knowing.
What are you most looking forward to Buckeye camp? I had Austin in earlier this week. Pat's obviously in. We're talking about storylines as we get into camp month. It's going to be here before you know it. Got Big Ten Media Days in Vegas. Caleb, Sonny, JJ, the big guns going out there. As we get into this time of the year and we start to kind of predict what this team is going to be, what's Adam King's burning storyline for the 2025 Buckeyes?
Ooh, my burning storyline is who is RB2?
Okay.
Or I guess who is RB 1.5? Because we know it's going to be a shared load with James Peoples. We hear so much about Bo Jackson that I really think that it might be Bo Jackson getting, when we look at the end of the season.
CJ Donaldson's going to take that personally.
Yes, well, but here's the thing I was just going to say, but I think at the end of the day, when we look, it may not be, like we may see 3 or 4 guys that pretty evenly split the carries throughout the year. And I think you're in a really good spot if you're Carlos Lachlan, because you don't have the one star that you have to feed. There's nobody in that room that says, listen, I came in, I'm a 5-star. You're paying me all this money. I deserve the ball constantly. Not that there was last year or the year before. It worked perfectly. But I'm saying now you have 4 guys that are pretty much on a level playing field. I mean, James Peoples coming back, obviously. Yeah. You expect him to get the brunt of the work early. But I think by the end of this thing, it may all break out where Carlos Lachlan there's just 4 workhorse dudes that are just constantly rotating in that lineup in a good way.
That was one of Pat's biggest storylines of the offseason, too. We did that.
Thanks,
did we do that last week? Did we do the running back hour last week?
We did, yeah. And I think you're right. It's a luxury that Carlos has, right?
Yeah.
Coach Locke. The fact that we're even talking about going 3-4 deep means first of all, you have the ability to keep everyone healthy. But if something does happen, you've got guys that should be ready to step in. And look, a guy like Bo Jackson, if you're a freshman running back, you can play. You need to be able to hold onto the ball, and you need to learn pass protection stuff. But we see it all the time, freshman running backs getting in games and succeeding in college football. Mm-hmm. So, and that's not even to talk about the other freshmen who maybe not this year, but there's a lot of excitement about the young guys in that room. And Isaiah West, Turbo Rogers, both guys that
with a name like Turbo Rogers.
Here's the problem. I'm never actually going to be able to talk about Turbo Rogers because every time his name comes up, all I can think is, what a name.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know, you just want a name.
He could score the game-winning score in the Michigan game, and I'd be like, you know what a play. But first, let's talk about the name.
First off,
what a man.
First team all-name team.
Yeah, first
Turbo,
team
you
all-name.
were built to play running back.
Yep.
Much like Tough Borland being built to play linebacker. When you're named Tough, you got to...
Storm Klein was one of my favorites.
Storm Klein, what a pull from the past.
Yep.
Storm Klein is. So Tough Borland, when Tim and I were doing this show back in 2017 or 2018, before Tough even got here, we would do, on the trail, we would talk about recruiting. And in the season, we would just do a Tough Borland update on what he did in his previous week's Friday night varsity football game. And it was always 27 tackles.
Insane.
Two TFLs, 3.5 sacks. It was every week. He would just be doing that kind of thing. So yeah, a Tough Borland is an all name team as well.
I do feel bad.
Master T up there.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Master T was a good one. Steel Chambers, Steel's a great name.
Now that I'm thinking about it, we had a lot.
We've had a good amount, but there are
Marvin Harrison Jr. just on the Marvin Harrison Sr. was
what a stupid thing you just said. That doesn't fit any of the conversation we're having.
It's not a fun name, but it's a name.
I'm here for fun names. What's the I can't remember him now. There was a great
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yes, that's a good one.
For Alabama. Yeah.
I'm just convinced that if you're named something like that, from birth, I got to go be a star football
Did you guys
player.
see, I think there's this kid for Bowling Green that his middle name is ESPN.
I did see this.
Did you see this? His dad slipped it on the birth certificate.
General Booty, of course, is the best name currently.
That's who I was thinking of.
Football.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty good all-name team. But yeah, his dad was doing his birth certificate. I don't know the kid's name, so I'm going to make it up. It's Matthew Kirkland, but it's Matthew ESPN Kirkland, and his dad's I just watched ESPN a lot, so that's his middle name. That's fantastic. He's a football guy.
I do.
His name is Gideon ESPN Lampron.
Okay, I was close. Matthew Kirkland, Gideon Lampron.
Similar.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Exact same thing.
I think it is.
We'll see Tough this year. He's a GA at Wisconsin.
Okay, all right. Under Fick then.
Yes.
That's very good.
But Fickle wasn't here when. That's interesting.
No, but don't those two just go together?
Yeah, Tough and Fickle.
Yeah. I mean, Ohio State linebackers, tough and Fickle. Yeah, you're right. They kind of do. Are you going out to Vegas?
Right now, we are not.
Okay.
Here's the problem. And
you 4 days in Vegas, that's the problem.
That's the problem. Well, we would only go for one anyway. But the bigger problem is it's really hard to justify getting on a plane, flying out to the other side of the country to talk to 3 players who, let me be clear, Jeremiah, Caleb, I know you're listening. Sonny, you always listen, avid Buckeye listeners. We want to talk to them. But we will also talk to them 85 times before the season kicks off. So it's very hard to
7 minutes away from here.
Just to be clear, Jeremiah holds a camp tomorrow. Caleb Downs holds something Monday. Sonny, I talked to him 2 days ago because he was at a high school practice. It's really hard to say, let's get on a plane and fly out there to talk to guys that we can talk to 7 minutes.
You need to tell that to Murph.
Have you thought about just going to Vegas on your own just to come hang out?
I have considered taking the day, but I do fear that you guys would be like, hey, we're going to media day. And I'd be like, the craps table looks kind of fun over here.
When does it start? Does it start on Tuesday?
Yeah. A week from Tuesday.
Okay, well, here's what you do then. You fly out on Monday morning when these guys aren't doing anything, and then you take the red eye on Monday night and get back for work on Tuesday.
Oh, my gosh, that's genius.
Right?
That is absolutely.
Or you just take more PTO because you didn't just take a week to go to Spain.
Exactly.
Come play the music, Nate.
I have to say, I've learned how to play craps.
Oh, it's a great
interesting. It's amazing.
It looks daunting.
It's so stressful to learn.
When you go up to a table, especially if there's a lot of people there, and you got numbers and dice on there, what the heck am I doing? Really, if you play the pass line?
Yeah.
You play the pass line, you want a 7 or an 11, and then once you establish a number, then you want to roll that number, and then you don't want a 7. That's basically the game.
That's the whole game. And the crazy part is, The only thing that is horrible about casinos is when you walk in and like you want to play blackjack or you want to play craps, and then you realize that like the people at the table are very intense.
Yeah.
I'm here with my $23 that I'd like to have some fun because me and my buddies just thought it might be a fun little nightcap. And the guy next to me's got $8,000 worth of chips and he's putting his mortgage down. And
You
I'm
hit
like,
on a 15 and
yes,
they're like, what are you doing?
Yes,
That's my card.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's why I like to pick the table that no one's at.
Yes.
And I'll sit there and talk with the dealer, get the free drinks. That's my type of thing. Blackjack, easy.
It's not easy though, because there's
easy
splitting, there's doubling.
I don't worry about that. You just
play
and the
black.
dealer will tell you what to do. They are on your side.
If you're at a table by yourself.
Exactly.
I know that Adam's not. He's in the high limit room.
That's true. I do. I walk into the high limit room and I say, all right, I got a crisp $20 bill here. Let's see how far we can get.
And they
this.
turn you around
and they say,
point you to the
exactly.
street.
They say, sir, the golden nugget is down the street.
Exactly.
What are you doing this weekend? I know you got camps and you got all
So
kinds
Jeremiah
of good stuff.
Smith holds his camp. We've got where Pat is going tomorrow, the FC Cincinnati versus Columbus crew. It's a big game that they talk about a lot in the Hell is Real rivalry.
Yep.
Can you use Darby on your broadcast?
I'll say Darby every now and then just because it gives you a different.
You're a good lad.
Yeah. But I will say, I still think that the greatest story that we'll never be able to tell is the story behind the Hell is Real billboard. Like, nobody knows the story. But I feel like
Is it just some guy who?
But that's the thing. It's like it's just some guy who like put up some.
Yeah.
Well, you
guy
as an
owns the land.
investigative journalist need to go knocking on doors and find that
but
guy.
I feel like he wouldn't be very happy. Like,
do you know that you created a big thing?
yeah, he'd be
That's
like,
what you ask him.
What do you mean? I put this sign up to make a statement on 71, and you guys use it as a shirt now to discuss soccer?
That's a good point.
I paid all this money to make a statement, and what are you wearing it on hats? You've called it a derby? I don't.
The best part of that is
he doesn't know what a derby is.
It's a real religious thing. Like,
Yeah,
there's the
of
10
course.
commandments on the other side.
That's
of that.
true. You know, we should have called it the Jeffersonville Outlet rivalry.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Would have
That's close to that.
Would have been a great sponsorship opportunity by the Jeffersonville Outlet, and instead they passed on it. That's a decision that they've chosen. But there it is.
Instead, they went with Hell is Real.
Hell is Real. I will say, Pat, on your way down, are you going to stop off and like do anything on maybe Kings Island on the journey or anything? You're just going right there?
No, I've got to get to Cobblestone and drink beer.
Okay. Well,
Is that the crew bar for tomorrow?
That's been the crew bar. I don't know how this happened. I assume some of the fine Nordic people helped set this up, but it is close to the stadium, walking distance, and that's been the bar ever since they moved into TQL Stadium. And they are great too. You know, you think you're in the opposing city, maybe they'll mess with you a little. No, they're fantastic. People go there before, after. If you're going down, you haven't been before, that's a spot to go. It's great.
Is it walking distance from the stadium?
It is, yes. We do a march. Everybody goes around the same time. It is kind of small. It's long. So, but
Like
there
a
is
shotgun house.
Let me just tell you this. Don't trust the bars that Pat Murphy sends you to.
You do need to trust the bars.
He sent me to a bar in Eugene to go with him, and I left my credit card there.
Well,
Is that his fault or
It
yours?
is his
It was
fault.
my fault, but that's not because of the bar. It was because of what we drank. Because of what was rung up on Adam's credit.
Exactly.
Green Ducks. It was a shot and it was delicious, and I had 14 of them.
What's the one where they absinthe? Is that what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was like Euro Trip.
I was thinking of the New Girl episode where he's just drinking absinthe the whole time.
My friend's dad brought us a bottle of absinthe at our college house. Yeah. We
Surprising that you're here today.
Yeah,
That is.
We finished it.
You've made it so far. Adam, have a great weekend.
Hey, you have a great
Thanks
weekend.
for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for letting me on the show.
Let's do it again soon, all right?
All right, let's do it
Hey,
again.
tell Jeremiah I said hi.
Hey, have a safe trip down to Cincinnati. If you haven't heard, it's a local spot. It's called Skyline Chili. You should stop and try it.
It is fantastic. I'm a
Jesus
Skyline-
will take the wheel.
Yeah.
Hell is real.
I'm a Skyline defender till I die. Thanks,
love
Adam.
it.
Appreciate it. Have a fantastic weekend. Power 5 most unlikable figures in college football next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon, even if this promo is playing in the morning. No judgment.
Ah, sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
Delaware County Veterans Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of veteran county veteran service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment, facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veterans Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veterans Services.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. And no matter what tasty choice you make, our low prices add up to big savings. Plus, you get over $600 in digital coupons each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump and points. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining healthcare.
As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thidoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Mom, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Because there's nothing better to do on a Friday night, let's just rank 5 things. It's the Buckeye Show's Power 5.
Love just ranking things on a summer Friday, and that's what we're going to do. We were doing Patrick Murphy, and by the way, tonight, Pat, we were out at Yogi's in Grandview. We were talking about arch rivals, the arch nemesis. Got me thinking about, just for me personally, for you, for Nate, the 5 most unlikable figures, things, people in college football. I'll start things off. I'll go with number 5. What really drives me crazy? Offensive visor guys. Not defensive visor guys, but offensive visor guys. They just have such a big brain that they have to wear the visor. Think about the likes of like Lane Kiffin. He's a visor guy, offensive guy. A Mike Gundy. He's an offensive visor guy. Lincoln Riley, Eli Drinkwitz, Matt Nagy. He's an offensive visor guy. Very big brains on them. There's something about the offensive visor guy that I don't vibe with.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, number 5 to me. I don't think that would make anybody else's list, but I don't like the offensive visor guy. Nate, what's number 5 for you?
Number 5, coaches who tweet. And by that, I mostly just mean Lane Kiffin.
Also Lane Kiffin.
Coaches who tweet. Mel Tucker was really bad at it. He was on there all the time. Go study some film. Go coach a practice. Get off Twitter.
Oh, you think he's got someone tweeting for him, though?
I don't think Lane does.
No, that's definitely Lane Kiffin.
He's just got his own thing out there. Also goes hand in hand with offensive visors.
Yeah.
So you and I both, number 5, Lane Kiffin. Pat?
Deion Sanders.
Okay.
I actually Googled this just to see what would come up. And
most unlikable figures in college football?
Yes, and this is a list of just people, not things.
Okay.
But number 25 on this list by Bleacher Report, the first one that comes up is Deion Sanders. And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking more Deion Sanders, the coach, just because I don't know. I can't even put my finger on why I dislike our friend who's the Bills fan who we can't name.
Yeah. He who shall not be named.
He decided a couple years ago that he was all in on Colorado.
All in on the Buffs?
Yeah, and that they were doing the right thing. And no, this is not how college football should be done. If you're going to recruit, go recruit. Be there when people show up to your campus. I'm glad that he stayed past the year that his son, or the 2 years that his son
he retired his jersey. You got to stay.
Yeah, I guess. But no, Deion Sanders drives me up a wall.
Number 4 for me, Power 5 most unlikable figures, things, people in college football. 2 signing days. Hate it because it neuters the February one. And growing up, I just watch ESPN all day and would just be hanging out with me and Tom Luganbill, and we'd go to all different parts of the country. We'd have the hat selections, and it was really down to crunch time. And so the early signing period has neutered that, and I would like for just one signing period, one signing day to return in college football. So I hate having 2 signing periods.
You are not alone in that. I believe every coach in college football would also, and GM.
It would probably be higher on their list.
Yes, I think it might be number 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think it would be a little bit lower for sure. Nate, what's number 4 for you?
Twitch/YouTube reactor guy. No one believes you are a diehard Oregon fan, but haven't watched the Rose Bowl in 3 weeks. Stop it. Stop pretending.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't understand the Twitch reaction guys, but they're out there for sure. And that was a good one, Nate. That was a good number 4. Patrick?
Seasons with 1 bye week. I think every college football season should have 2 bye weeks. I know that it's not what the NFL does, but these are.
This isn't the NFL.
Correct. And these guys are younger. If you're talking not in the Power 5, especially Power 4, I guess now, you could use those weeks, especially for other programs. Also, selfishly, it allows me an extra weekend to sit back and watch college football. Those weeks are interesting because we don't usually have media availability, so it makes for a little bit more complicated work week. But
it's a long week.
I love it. I love seasons with 2 bye weeks.
Number 3 for me, big noon kickoff game deciders. Whoever's in charge of deciding the big noon kickoffs, stop making Ohio State your cash cow. All right,
good luck with that.
That's number 3 for me. Until they're able to break that contract or get a new contract renewal. Whatever. I know that Ohio State is going to be the cash cow, but I'll go number 3, big noon kickoff game deciders. Most unlikable things in college football.
Number 3, I just find everyone on the SEC network obnoxious. They're all bad. Booger's bad. Paul's bad. You're not good commentators.
I respect that. I respect the SEC hate. That was exactly how it should be, north of the Mason-Dixon. Pat, number 3 for you.
Well, this fits in exactly where I was going to go. I was thinking about big noon kickoff something, but then I saw yours. So I went with when ESPN decides they need to defend themselves, like when they start College Game Day off by explaining that they're not biased towards the SEC or that they don't have an agenda with some of the stuff they talk about.
Why are you saying that out loud?
Yeah, you first of all, either ignore it or acknowledge the fact that that is somebody you have on your air, and therefore you are going to talk about them more or prop them up or whatever.
You want to pump your property.
Exactly. And Fox is going to talk about the Big Ten and the Big 12. That's just how it's going to go.
NIL is at number 2 for me. Just the whole...
Just everything.
Just everything involved.
You hate that these guys get paid.
No, I don't hate that, but it's not what it was. It's not what it was dreamed up to be. And I was reading a Ross Dellinger article today, and my eyes went cross reading legal jargon. I'm not smart enough to do that. I don't understand any of it. So NIL goes number 2 for me.
Number 2, people on game day who always go against Ohio State, whose names may rhyme with Mesmond.
Who could he be talking about?
I don't know. Maybe someone in the YouTube chat could help us out with that one.
Could help
it's a good one, Nate. Good number 2.
I have stadiums that don't sell beer, and this may be... I don't know.
You don't even go to stadiums and drink beer, though.
Well, first of all, I go to a lot of stadiums.
Well, I know that, but you don't do the second part. Or do you?
I did at one point in time, and they weren't allowed to sell them at that point. But I've talked with people about this, and there are still some stadiums, even though you are now allowed to sell beer, that have just decided not to do it. And I think it sucks for the people in attendance that would like to consume beer, but also you're just throwing away money by not doing it. Install the beer taps, have the fridges, sell your beer. I think it's very small, the number of stadiums that don't. Maybe there aren't even any anymore, but I do think is just silly.
With the day and age of you're trying to find every single penny under the couch cushion, I feel like that would generate some pretty easy revenue. Number 1 for me, and it's pretty simple given the last 4 years, it is Michigan. Nate, number 1 for you.
It will always be Michigan.
Yeah, okay, we got 2 number 1s there for Michigan. Patrick? Decked out in Michigan colors.
I probably should have gone Michigan. I did fake social media college football accounts. It makes my job way more difficult because there are people out there that just put out information that's not real.
They buy the blue check mark.
Yes, it happens in other sports too. This isn't exclusive to college football, but it's
NBA Centel.
Yes, and there's a lot of them in. We follow European soccer. There's a lot of them over there, but you've got to be careful who you follow online, who you believe. Some people don't do it intentionally, but there's a Twitter account I believe still out there that has a picture of the Columbus Dispatch's Joey Kaufman, and it changes what outlet it allegedly works for and just puts out fake graphics and things like that. I've seen so many times people retweeting or posting it on our message board and stuff like that.
That's not real.
What's worse, fake Twitter guy or a really blatant AI Twitter person?
Both have their place in the 7th layer of hell. Is what they do. Shout out to Sage in the YouTube chat. He said, recruiting shows that make it sound like every recruit is starting next year. No, they aren't. Stop it. Yeah, that's a good one, too. That's a good one, Sage. Thanks for that. You can always chime in on the YouTube chat. Just go to YouTube and type in 97.1 The Fan. Hot seat. Hot seat. We'll go over who's on the hottest seat heading into the season in the College Football Pulse. Next, it's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
No hot takes, no dancing, plenty of stupid. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Tri-State Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, community banking is the lifeblood of the American financial system, building strong, lasting relationships. We're just better able to help guide you down life's road. Flexibility is paramount to success. Community banking is alive and well in the Heartland. I'm Scott McComb. Come on over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Nate Punterball. In Chicago, the Guardians won Game 1 of their doubleheader with the White Sox by a score of 4-2. Daniel Schneemann, Carlos Santana, and Angel Martinez all homered for the Guardians. Game 2 of the doubleheader is set for 8:10. Jonathan Cannon of the White Sox set to take on Gavin Williams. In Cincinnati, the Reds are in action tonight, taking on the Colorado Rockies. German Marquez takes the mound against the Reds' Chase Burns. First pitch is 7:10. Catch the action immediately following the Buckeye Show. At Wimbledon, world number 1 Jannik Sinner beat Novak Djokovic in straight sets, and second-seeded Carlos Alcaraz knocked off American Taylor Fritz to set the finals on Sunday. And the Columbus Clippers are at home tonight at Huntington Park, taking on the Louisville Bats. First pitch set for 7:05. And in the NFL, the Chicago Bears and general manager Ryan Poles have agreed to a 3-year contract extension running through the 2029 season. Breaking sports news when it happens on the Fan, Ohio Sports Destination.
It's time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Number 2 for us here on a Friday night. Hopefully everybody's kickstarting their weekend the right way. Coming up here at 8 o'clock, we'll get you to some Reds action. Getting ready to take on the Rockies for a 3-game set down in Cincinnati. Patrick, you're going to be in Cincinnati tomorrow down at Tickle.
Yes. Our friend from Buffalo, the Bills fan, he asked if we should go to the Reds game before the FC Cincinnati Columbus.
And they play like a 4 o'clock game tomorrow?
And I said, no, we're going to be at Cobblestone with the crew fans drinking our faces off.
Yeah, but you could also then just take over 2 Cincinnati stadiums.
No, we don't need to do that.
I think you could.
We could do it. It's feasible. They're also not close to each other.
No,
like,
I
it
don't
would take
think that
some getting. I mean, you could do it. Cincinnati's not a huge city. Much like Columbus, you can get around pretty easily, but we will not be doing that. I
think he had a really good idea. I think you should do it.
I will not.
I'm standing firm on this.
I have to drink my Coors Lights.
I will be at Cobblestone drinking and getting ready for the soccer match.
All right, yes,
You'll
that's
be
what I'm doing.
Ready to rock. Yeah. Nate, happy Friday to you. What do you got for us today, buddy?
All right, it's coaching hot seat time. CBS Sports did math, and I'm not going to bother to try to explain that, to decide the coaches most on the hot seat. Most notable names, probably the top 5. Brent Venables at OU, Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State, Hugh Freeze at Auburn, Billy Napier at Florida, and Luke Fickle at Wisconsin.
Yeah, Fick's got to get it going at Wisconsin, right? Like, he's got to go. And I know that they tried the air raid a couple of years ago. I'm like, well, that seems weird. Wisconsin's never been an air raid kind of team. You say Wisconsin football, and like Ron Dane pops into my mind, not like a Colt Brennan type, a guy who's going to go
run football.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's ground and pound, you know. Billy Napier actually had a really good season last year at Florida. Their over-under total was like 3.5, and they blew by that. So get the second year of DJ Lagway. I'll be excited to see with that what he can do. For me, it's the Mike Gundy show. It's the Mike Gundy show, and it's Brent Venables, both of those big coaches in Oklahoma. Venables hasn't obviously done very well in the first couple of years. Now, they did get the big win against Alabama at the end of the season, kind of knocked them out of the playoffs last year. And then for Gundy, you're going to talk about, and I know Austin and I did this a little bit earlier this week, a guy in Scott Frost who was holding no arrows up against his former employer and also alumnus of the school that he went to. Like, Mike Gundy's a legend down there, right? So to be able to part ways with him, what does he do? He knows he's on the hot seat. He knows he feels pressure down there at Oklahoma State. So there's always, as long as there's college football to be played, there is always coaches that are going to be on the hot seat, and we will always see firings midseason. That's just the way that the world is.
Do you know Luke Fickle's record off the top of your head?
I don't.
13-13.
Okay.
That is not great for what Wisconsin expected when they hired a guy who at Cincinnati went 57-18.
Got Cincinnati to a college football playoff when it was 4 teams.
Yes. I think that's a really weird one because I do think they are committed to him. They knew changing Wisconsin from the old school power eye, what they'd been for so long, was going to take time. You obviously need the quarterback. Last year, he was hurt. I remember watching, actually, I was in Cincinnati for the Crew game when they played that home game against Alabama, and they hung around for a little bit, but it just he doesn't have the horses for that at Wisconsin.
Well, he got hurt in that game, too.
Well, I just mean the team in general. Yeah. Like, Luke doesn't have the horses. I want to see him succeed. I've always been a big Luke Fickle guy, even going back to before he was on the staff. So I hope it works out. But yeah, you're right. He's got to win games. I'm just glad Ryan Day's name doesn't show up on these lists anymore because that drove me crazy.
Yeah, no. I mean, it was like best coaches list and it was hot seat list.
Right. Like what?
Pick which one you want Ryan Day to appear on. For Luke, I mean, he's got to be on the hottest seat of any one of the Big Ten, right? I know Mike Loxley's probably up there as well over at Maryland, but
well. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Sharon Moore as we get some Michigan stuff.
It's been very quiet. Have you heard?
No.
I mean, it's been like eerily quiet on that front.
But that's not an on-field thing. I mean, obviously they took the step back last year.
Did the playoffs knock James Franklin that far off the hot seat last year?
I think it did, Nate.
Okay.
I mean, we want to talk about coaches under pressure. I think it's like skyrocketed for James Franklin. I don't know if he's on the hot seat, because I think he would get another job, like if he left Penn State. I don't know if they're firing him if he doesn't win a national championship or doesn't beat Ohio State. Now, if they have a disastrous season and go like 7-5, then maybe you start talking about that. But I don't know necessarily hot seat James Franklin. I would say more like he's in a pressure cooker over there, especially given now, Pat, the national narrative that is around Penn State. It's like it's them and Texas, and that's the field. Like those are the two teams. Like I don't know if I trust Sark or James Franklin.
Yeah, I would trust Sark more, I think, because you've seen it more consistently in terms of getting to the playoff. But James Franklin's 101-42 and has been to a bowl game 10 out of the 11 years he's been there. I know bowl game isn't what Penn State wants anymore. And
especially now.
Yeah, but they're going to be in the playoff mix, I think, going forward, similar to what Ohio State is. So, look, I think you're exactly right, though. Pressure is certainly, this season, the pressure is on. But if they come up short of a national, say they make the semifinal again, they lose to Ohio State, but they still make the semifinal, even the quarterfinal, I think he's still there.
Let's go to the YouTube chat real quick. And Nate said, I'm curious to see how much Fickle's success was due to Marcus Freeman as his defensive coordinator. Like, it's a solid point.
Yeah.
Marcus, obviously, a very good coach, had a great Notre Dame team last year. They battled some injuries. They found their way to a college football playoff national championship. Now, I think Luke was doing it before Marcus got there, but obviously the year that they went to the playoff and then he took the Wisconsin job and Marcus got the Notre Dame job from there. I think it is a fascinating point, though.
Last 2 years, in terms of total defense, Wisconsin was 39th 2 years ago and 41st
Yeah, that's not Wisconsin football, is it?
No. And I think if you were looking at where he could have been successful quickly, you would have expected the defensive side of the ball. Maybe if, there's probably some reasons if we really broke down their roster and whatnot, but you would think that that's where they could have hung their hat as they got the offense going.
Like Iowa.
Yeah, exactly.
Iowa's bad at offense, but they're really good at defense.
That's hurting bad by saying Iowa's bad at offense.
They're better than what they were. They were like 68th nationally last year, which I think is 50 spots better than where they were, maybe 70 spots better. Nate, what else you got for us tonight?
Well, speaking of the idea Texas and Penn State are head and shoulders above everyone, the Sporting News put out their composite top 25 for the upcoming season. At number 5, Georgia. Number 4, Clemson. Number 3, Penn State. Number 2, OSU. And number 1, Texas.
So you guys do the composite rankings over 24/7.
We do.
And I like this because what the Sporting News did is they took all of the preseason top 25 rankings from Action Network, Athlon Sports, the Athletic Bleacher Report, CBS Sports, 24/7, ESPN, like all the major outlets, and they just assigned point totals to see which outlets were gaining most attention for which teams. So Texas overwhelming favorite, actually. 244 points there. The highest that they were on any of those publications' list was obviously number 1. Can't be number 1 without being number 1 in a lot of these. And their low was number 3. Ohio State comes in second with 236 points, with their high being number 1 and their low, bottom, like preseason rankings, being number 5. Penn State comes in at 234, just a couple of spots behind Ohio State, with 1 being the high and the low being 5 as well. I'm not here to sit and say that, judging Ohio State against Penn State, but you have everything to go off of to say that Penn State is better than Ohio State. Just go to the game. Go to that game that's been played for however many years that James Franklin has been here. Ryan Day obviously has their number. They did it last year in Happy Valley. They're going to do it again. But I do find it fascinating that the composite rankings actually have Ohio State above Penn State, when all we've been hearing about is a national championship or bust for James Franklin and the Nittany Lions.
I found it interesting all offseason, the talk surrounding those two programs over Ohio State. And I get it from the standpoint of Penn State has a lot coming back. They're going. We talked about this yesterday. They're going the route Ohio State and Michigan went the last 2 years. But to your point, they haven't beaten Ohio State. Ohio State has a lot of talent, even if they lost guys from last year. I feel like other defending national champions have gotten benefits of the doubt. And then Texas lost double-digit starters from that team.
They lost a huge amount.
Right. So I think 4 of their starters on the offensive line. Now, they did bring in a bunch of guys on the defensive line in the transfer portal.
But you know who plays quarterback for them?
A guy who has almost the same amount of experience as Julian Sayin. I mean, I know he's got more. He started 2 games, but I don't know. I think that's probably why Texas has gotten the love they have.
It's the same thing with Penn State. Drew Aller suddenly became the best quarterback in college football, not named March, in the offseason.
Were you not watching the Sugar Bowl at the very end of the game that gave Notre Dame a field goal?
Well, and I think people in the offseason love Drew Aller because of the physical abilities. And
he's a big dude. He can launch a football.
This is why he will get drafted in the first round, not regardless. He has to have a decent year at least, but teams will look at him and say, we can make that guy work. We've seen it tons of times in the NFL before. And I think similarly with Arch Manning, it's that name, he's got to be good, right? And probably he will be good. How good? I don't know.
I don't know either, but it's his name is Manning.
One thing I noted I found interesting on their composites, they had Bama at number 9. I looked up the last time Bama was not in the top 5 to start the season, 2008.
Ooh. That would have been Saban's second year? Second year, right? Because he didn't have a great first year, and then it was title. Playoff semifinal, title. Then they just went on a crazy run. Good job on that, Nate, as always. What is Ohio State tight ends coach Keenan Bailey like on the recruiting trail? You're going to hear from him coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
You ever feel like your money is just lying around? Switch to Huntington Bank, and your money is always doing something.
Like what?
Like automatically pushing more to savings so you can take that trip.
I like trips.
Who doesn't? It even tracks your progress. You're almost there.
Well, I better pack.
And it charts your spending so you know which vacation hat you can afford.
How does it know I like hats?
Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Cool people, good time. It's the biggest and best hot rodding event of the year. The Good Guys 27th Summit Racing Nationals presented by PPG. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus. Over 6,000 classics from across the USA. Shop the swap meet at Huge Vendor Midway. See which rides take home the crown of the 2025 Classic Instrument Street Rods and PPG Street Machine of the Year. All this weekend at the Ohio Expo Center. Details at good-guys.com.
The future of recycling is now at Rumpke Waste and Recycling. The recycling leader has opened North America's largest, most technologically advanced recycling center right here in Central Ohio. This one-of-a-kind facility features interactive displays, educational opportunities, and the ability to process over 60 tons of recycled material per hour. Rumpke is committed to recycling and sustainability efforts, and for more than 90 years, Rumpke has worked to make sure the items you place in your recycling bin get used again. Visit Rumpke.com to learn how you can team with Rumpke to put less trash in our landfills and more of it to good use. Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear. Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town.properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Morning Juice is live on YouTube. Weekday mornings starting at 6. Or on demand whenever you want it. Yeah, whenever. Bobby Carpenter's at your beck and call. And Tito's there too, to clean the toilets. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut, to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens at your latest forecast. Isolated shower storm can't be ruled out this evening. Temperatures slowly making their way down to the low 70s by early Saturday. As we head into Saturday, dry to start, plenty of sun, low 90s in the afternoon. Could see a scattered shower or storm that may be on the strong side, so stay weather aware. We'll see more chances for rain and storms on Sunday. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
If you still have a weird rash from jumping in Mirror Lake, we can be friends. This is the Buckeye Show.
We're here on the Buckeye Show, brought to you by our great friends over at Coors Light. When those mountains are blue, those suckers are as cold as the Rockies. We had a great time over at Yogi's in Grandview last night. We're going to be out there next Thursday as well. $3 drafts on Coors Lights from 6 to 8. We did partake after the program.
We did. We got some of the food, which was great. I ate quite a bit, actually. I never even had dinner because of the snacking going on, and then we did have some Coors Lights.
Yeah, we did. It was fantastic. How was you guys went to the movies afterwards?
Yeah, we went and saw the new Superman movie.
How was it?
I thought it was fantastic. I'm a big Superman fan, and
I just don't know how they make him how they make an enemy for him.
Oh, they do. It's. I won't spoil anything for those who want to see it, but I grew up watching the Christopher Reeve Superman. May he rest in peace. And Christopher Reeves, not Superman. But this version of Superman by David Cornsweet.
Yeah, I'd never heard of this guy before.
He does a very similar type of Superman. Also, Lois Lane is played by, if you ever watched The Marvelous Miss Maisel, it's the same actress.
I've told you, I got out of the comic book movies. It became too much for me.
Marvelous Miss Maisel has nothing to do with comic books.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a superhero.
No, she's
like a 1950s comic.
Yeah,
a comic.
She is a comic. She's very Jewish from New York. It's fantastic, but I just love that actress. She does a great job. Really, the whole cast was really good, and it's James Gunn who did Guardians of the Galaxy. He's done a lot of other things. I really enjoyed it. I think it'll do really well.
You get the Ebert and Roper 2 thumbs up.
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Nate, are you a big comic movie guy?
Yeah, I'm going to go to see Superman on Sunday probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think you'll enjoy it.
What's your favorite? You have one that like reigns above the rest?
Off the top of my head, Infinity War.
Okay,
probably.
Sure. That's where I stopped. I stopped at Endgame. I'm like I'm done with it.
That's a fair.
I put in my time. I'm like, okay, this is a nice breakaway point for me.
I do recommend, if you just want something absurd, watch James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
Okay. Is that the one with
John Cena?
Yes.
Yes, it is very funny and very hyper violent.
Okay. I like funny and hyper violent. That sounds like a nice movie to throw on at like 10 o'clock this evening.
Shut off brain, enjoy.
Okay, yeah. That's some of my favorites too. Like I'm just watching this for pure enjoyment and I'm half paying attention and watching the screen. Keenan Bailey joined Carp on his YouTube show with Schlegs and thought this was a good one. We talked about the attitude in the room, Pat, a little bit in the 6 o'clock hour. You can go back and download the podcast anywhere you get your podcast from or go back and watch the show on YouTube. We did this at 6:17, a little bit earlier in the hour. But here's how Keenan Bailey recruits, and then the recruiting pitches. I'll play that cut following. Just his mindset as a recruiter.
Yeah, I just try to be genuine. Like, everyone's different, but like, I flew out to Norman, and Nate's brother was playing. He was a starting tight end for the Sooners, and you go to his high school, and it's like a picture of like Jesus and the president, and then like Bob Stoops. Like, it was, I just kept it real with him, and I coached him really hard, and I think kids like that. And I'm young. I'm working out with the guys, and I'm not saying that's why they're coming here, but they're like, all right, this guy's genuine. He's not foolish, and that's just that's how I coach. So I'm going to try to be like that in recruiting. I mean, the Max Clare one, he literally came in on a Sunday. He's in the portal, and he left Texas, and like a 3-day trip at Texas. And he came in here, and I had, for 2 hours, all we watched was a cut-up of plays that he could be better. Like, I'm not telling him how many receptions. I never once talked about receptions. We watched a cut-up of him, and I'm like, what are you doing here? This is awful. Like, the technique is not good, and like, you want to be the best tight end in the country. And then also, like, I showed him, here's the drill I would do, to practice at. And it's me with Jackson Smith and Jigba and Emeka Egbuka and Kate Stover, and he's like, oh, so I had a plan. Here's how I'm going to develop you, but like, it was just authentic. We never talked about targets. I'm like, this is how I coach. I show them, Bobby, how I act at match drills. They see me yelling at practice, or like, there's no surprises when they get here, or else they're going to be in the portal in like 6 months. They're going to be like, Mom, Dad, this crazy redhead guy's calling me all these names, and he doesn't leave the Woody, and I want to transfer.
So before he got his own room too, Pat, like he was always an excellent recruiter.
Yeah. Yeah. As much as he could. Obviously, he couldn't be out on the road, but he could talk to the kids on the phone, I believe, talk to them when they visited, obviously. And it was a lot of what Brian Hartline does. He deserves credit for a huge amount, no doubt about it. But Keenan Bailey was right there working with him. Keenan Bailey has been an assistant to the position coaches of every position coach on the roster, I believe, or on the offensive side of the ball, I should say. Maybe not quarterback. I don't know if I remember that one, but like, he's worked with nearly every position on the offensive side of the ball, which, as we were talking about earlier, helpful when you're coaching tight ends.
Helpful really when you're just a rising star in college football.
And you get to see how different guys work too. He's not just recreating Brian Hartline because that's the one guy he worked with, right? Mm-hmm. He's worked with a very varying degree of guys, and they're all different in how they handle things. And Keenan has his own style too. He was talking about it there, the way he handles them in practice. Keenan's loud. Keenan yells things you can't say on here. Is you kind of picked up with some of the things you had to
cut
out.
About 7 or 8.
Yeah, so
bombs.
But I do agree, when you talk to his tight ends, they love him, and he is genuine, and he's not going to feed you anything that isn't going to happen when you get to Ohio State. I think a lot of the Ohio State coaches are that way, and I think that's why you see the success they have on the recruiting trail, especially when money is not a big factor.
So that was how he recruits. What about the ultimate recruiting pitch? What makes him very good as a recruiter?
Tight end's so freaking hard to evaluate. How do you evaluate what a good tight end is? Like, there's going to be some games that George Kittle gets 2 balls, right? Like, you go back to that Oregon game. Yeah, G had the 50-yard first play. The next play he blocked for JJ. No one mentioned it, but he was the one who sprung that touchdown. JJ's second touchdown, Will Kazmarek just cuffed up at the end, and he never gets credit for that. But to answer your question, one, I show him. Like when Cade was here, he was second on the team in targets and receptions and yards and in touchdowns behind Marvin Harrison. And he got single coverage. Because when you come to Ohio State with Hart's receivers, you're going to get single coverage. No offense to anybody in my room, Kaz, Bennett, Claire, Jelani, they're not going to double you. They're going to double JJ, and they should, which means that we got to beat a safety and a linebacker. And if we can't do that, I should be fired and they should be cut. So, I mean, you're going to get single coverage, and then you're going to be ready to go to the NFL. Like, you can go play in some other offenses coach likes, and, okay, you might catch more passes. You're not going to be ready for that next level. You look at guys like Luke Farrell, just signed a second contract, Ruck and Cade, and all those guys that leave here are ready for the league. So I think if a kid in high school is talking about receptions before he gets to campus, he's definitely not going to fit in my room. I mean, we're in January doing indie drills in the snow, so he's not going to fit in.
It's a good point. And to kind of hearken what he's saying to the old Brian Hartline adage, like if you don't play special teams in that wide receiver unit, Pat, then you're not going to play. Now, there are exceptions to the rule, certainly, with Jeremiah Smith.
Yep.
But if you don't do the little things correct, then you're not going to get your time in the sun. Nobody shines more, to me, in my eyes, of Brian Hartline talking about that than Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin, we always thought when Terry went into the league, he's like, man, he's going to have a 10-year career in the National Football League as a gunner. Like, if he doesn't crack it as a wide receiver, like, he will have a spot on a roster because he does the little things correct. Now, Terry McLaurin has been Terry McLaurin, and he's one of the best wide receivers totally in the NFL. But it sounds similar to what Keenan Bailey is saying. Like, if you want to come in here and you want to catch 50 passes a year, it might happen, but it's not going to happen until you do the little things and you learn how to play the position correctly.
It was funny hearing him give his pitch because we've heard him in interviews basically explain the same thing. Like, this is clearly something he really believes in. He brings it up a lot, that talking about all of that right there. And I think, again, going back to the genuine part, he's going to be honest with you in the recruiting, and when you get on campus, like, you have to work your butt off.
Mm-hmm. And we heard that from earlier. We've seen that.
Yes. And if you do, you are going to be successful in his room. And he named the guys that have done well at Ohio State that go on to the NFL. Are they the top tight end picked? No, probably not. We'll see what happens with Max Clare. But I thought it was really interesting in the first one when he's talking about telling Max Clare, like, this is awful. Some of the stuff. This is a guy who was an all Big Ten tight end, largely because of his pass catching, obviously. And I assume some of that was
Purdue.
Well, no, I just mean, like, I assume some of the stuff he's showing him is blocking and things like that he needs to work on. But maybe even some of the route things that just like, because you're Purdue, you got away with. How many guys feel confident, especially a young guy who doesn't have a huge name yet, can sit down with a guy like that and just be like, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad.
You think that conversation went the same way at Texas? Because he's talked about it. He just spent 3 days in Austin. They're trying to woo him, probably. I don't know if that was the situation. I don't know what their recruiting strategy's like.
No, I mean, without knowing much about Texas tight end coach, it's tough to say, but I doubt it was like that pretty much anywhere else. That I don't know if Max went to other schools, but in his recruiting process in general, and anyone, I don't know if you're going to get that type of honesty. And again, going back to, he brought up Brian Hartline, like, he says the same things. You're going to come here, now that he's got that room established, you're going to come here and you're going to have to work, but you're probably going to have to sit too. And to your point, play special teams and things like that. And if you're not willing to do that, maybe this isn't the place for you. Doesn't matter how good you are, but the results are the results. And you can see what happens. These guys are out in the NFL starring, and you're starting to see that more and more with the tight ends.
According to the national media, if Ohio State is going to trip up this year, what will be their undoing? We'll do that coming up in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use law enforcement siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention, like telling you if you get a speeding ticket, it doesn't end there. You have to pay expensive fines. You can't go to your friend's wedding because that also costs money. And your insurance rates could increase. See? We didn't have to use law enforcement sirens after all. Getting a speeding ticket has consequences. Sooner or later, speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Ryan Day's favorite radio show. Probably. Maybe. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out on a Friday night. Thanks for everybody for joining us. Let's do a couple more Keenan Bailey cuts. Pat, you were just talking about how Keenan Bailey's kind of been a chameleon since he's been here at Ohio State. GA really worked in every room on the offense other than quarterbacks that we know. I'm sure he's been tight end quarterbacks at some point in time. You know, I'm sure he's sitting in those meetings. But here was his description of the 1 year that he got to work with under former offensive coordinator Chip Kelly.
Coach Kelly, you could bring him a clip from a high school team you watch or a Division III team, Canada football, and be like, hey, you ever seen this? And he'd be the first to be open to it. So he was the most open coach I've ever been around as far as trying new things, different ways to skin the cat. Now, he's probably ran every scheme in the history of football. So he's like, yeah, I ran that back in 1996 again. All right. But no, he was super open, and he definitely leaned into, especially those last 4 games, what my unit did best, and it was fun.
You know, for a young coach like him to be even a single year in the tutelage of Chip Kelly and getting to have conversations and just to grow his football brain, like that's a great learning experience for Keenan Bailey that he can translate to his room currently, and then whatever the future may have in store for him, like you bank that knowledge.
I got asked earlier today about my concern about Brian Hartline calling plays, and I don't think it's very high because he just worked with a guy like Chip Kelly. He's worked with Ryan Day. He's worked with Kevin Wilson. That is true, even though Keenan Bailey's not calling plays. Like, he's worked with those guys, and obviously you have your own job that you're doing every day, but you also have an idea of the future, right? And Keenan Bailey, as part of that, talked about, like, he wasn't going to be patient. Like, it's taken a while to get to where he was going, but he wasn't going to be patient and wait around and, you know, just do these things. No, he was going to strive to be the best and have that fall where it may. And I think when you're doing that, you're also paying attention and asking questions and things like that from those guys.
Having Chip Kelly dress you down on a 15-yard penalty by Will Kazmarek.
Well, and you learn something from that. And I think that it is, it's beneficial for all of these younger coaches. Billy Fessler's another one on the staff. He's the youngest on the staff. I think Keenan Bailey said he's younger by like 3 months because Keenan just turned 30. But to have those guys that they were able to work with, and Ryan being very much a part of that too, is certainly a benefit for those guys. It's only going to help the Buckeyes.
Here was a good one on Keenan Bailey's first day. I don't know if this was his tight ends coach. I don't know if this was as a GA. How basically him and Schleggs almost came to fisticuffs over at the Woody.
But hey, I'm shocked you did not bring up how the guy across from you wanted to kick my ass the first time he met me.
Okay. We'll listen, we'll go with that right now, and then you can tell the story because Mick doesn't like anybody in the weight room.
No, I stay out of the way. But when I'm training with my guys, then I'm in it. It's not like a token. Like, I'm touching the line, I'm doing the reps. We have this new coach who I kept hearing about. This like godly figure comes out of the clouds, to work with us. The first day, introduced. I'm looking forward to making a new friend, being welcoming. Coach introduced me to Coach Schlegels, and I don't even think Coach Schlegels said hi. He's like, "Hey, when I'm training my guys, get out of the way," or something. Just out of left field. And I didn't like the way I looked at him. I didn't like the way he looked at me. Coach Mick was like, "Guys, it's 5 a.m. You guys are going to love each other." And sure enough, like a week later, we're like best friends.
That's very good. I mean, Schlegels gets very intense. I'm sure Keenan Bailey does. So that had to be a couple of years ago or actually probably just last year when Schlegels was helping them out in the summer.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, obviously, you know Schlegels better than I do, but that does not surprise me.
Nicest human being in the world will also cut your throat if he is intense, doing something intense.
Right. And I think Keenan's probably on a similar level. You heard him talking about the workouts he goes through with these guys. Having seen him out at some of that stuff, would not be surprised if they were right there. You know, Schlegels may be a little bit more intense, just given his background, but I think they're right there.
I was reading this article of ESPN, Pat. I thought it was, mildly fascinating. Area of concern for top 25 college football teams in 2025. They have Penn State at number 1. They got Clemson at number 2, Texas, Georgia, and then Ohio State at number 5. And it says, if there's an undoing to the season, what would it be, credited to if these teams don't live up to these expectations? We'll go down to the Buckeyes. Area of concern, quarterback. Here's what Jake Trotter wrote. If there's going to be an undoing for an Ohio State position and or scheme, whatever, here's what he said. Quarterback Will Howard was everything the Buckeyes could have hoped for last year in his lone season at Ohio State. He was spectacular during the playoff, posting a QBR of 97.2 over 4 games during the Buckeyes' march to the championship. With Howard now in the NFL, the Buckeyes will be turning to 5-star freshman Julian Sayin or Lincoln Kienholz this season, pending who wins the job during camp. Throwing to all-world wideout Jeremiah Smith will bolster whomever the starting quarterback winds up being, but even with Smith and All-American safety Caleb Downs anchoring each side of the ball, it's difficult envisioning the Buckeyes truly contending again unless Ohio State gets good to great quarterback play like it did last season. I don't disagree with Jake on that. I just think the other massive area of concern, and it's something that we've been talking about since spring ball, is the defensive line. Like, I know that quarterback, it's the most important position in sports. But I also, knowing we always give credit to Brian Hartline, like Marvin Harrison Jr. is leaving, who's coming in? Oh, this guy named Jeremiah Smith. It's like made you forget about Marv, that he was even there. Ryan Day's done an unbelievable job developing quarterbacks. Julian Sayin, very highly ranked. Lincoln Kienholz has been in the program now for 3 years.
And was also pretty highly ranked.
And was also very
top 11 quarterback.
I know it's wading into the unknown. And we did that same thing with Will Howard. How much Will Howard Kansas State tape did you watch last year? Be like, man, is this is the guy? Like, This is the guy that you're committing to? So I think, while I understand that is obviously a big piece of it being quarterback, and they're young and they're inexperienced, I would think that having Ryan Day in that room, having Billy Fessler in that room, being elevated now to full-time quarterbacks coach, and Will Howard doing nothing but gushing with him, my main concern, if there is a trip up, we've talked about the lack of maybe a portal addition in the defensive line, and Austin and I talked about that for like 4 hours this week. But at the same time, if 1 or 2 of those guys go down, it's a long season. Injuries happen. They happen all the time. Then do you have the depth to really be able to establish yourself as a run-stopping threat in the Big Ten? I don't know. That's my biggest question.
Absolutely. And look, that game at the end of November, you're going to have to stop the run. We've seen it multiple times in that game, right?
Ryan Day have to run the ball, and you have to stop the run.
Right. The Ryan Day talks about a team that's won the rushing battle, has won that game however many times in a row. I think it's interesting because when we're talking the quarterback, look at the quarterbacks that Ohio State had under Ryan Day. You had Dwayne Haskins, you had Justin Fields, you had C.J. Stroud, you had Kyle McCord. Say what you will about Kyle McCord, but he was a 5-star guy and everything. The guy that won you the national title was Will Howard.
Yeah.
Now, he'd played 5 years. He'd had success. I've won a Big 12 championship and whatnot, but like, you had the elite quarterback play. And not to say that you don't want that. You absolutely do.
And he was on fire at the very end of the year.
Look at Georgia's back-to-back championships. Who was the quarterback
Stetson Bennett.
Right. That's a former walk-on. Yeah. He left the program to transfer to, I don't even know the name of the school because it wasn't relevant, at least in terms of this conversation. It comes back to Georgia. So, like, yes, is the quarterback the most important position in football?
Bar none.
100%. You see it all the time. But if you get good quarterback play, and I am a firm believer that whichever of these guys wins the job is going to give you good quarterback play, especially with the weapons around them, I think you are going to be just fine. I agree with you, defensive line. There's also, there's just so many new faces. Like you're losing 8 starters, all right? Like if you had to pick one spot, and I think Ohio State's going to be fantastic this year. You're Ohio State, you're coming off a national championship. Guys who are hungry to be in the spots that they're in now. If you had to pick one, though, I'm probably just leaning into the D-line. Yeah, and I like Jake a lot. He's at a lot of Ohio State interviews.
He's very good.
Yes, and I think, though, that's the easiest thing to pick. If you are trying to write something that's a national thing, it's easy to talk about.
Which is what that is.
Exactly. And we talked about it yesterday, kind of we are so close to it that we know the defensive line could be an issue, especially the depth. But if you're just looking at this roster, even though Jake is around the program more than a lot of national guys, you're probably like, well, the quarterback battle is probably the biggest thing because you don't have that next obvious guy that has already won the job.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Other areas of concern is just the lack of experience, right? I mean, you saw these guys battle through 4 or 5 years.
Right. And that is going to be, I think, a continued trend. Michigan won with a lot of experience. Ohio State won with a lot of experience. We talked about Penn State trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
That it's like college basketball right now. You want to get old quickly and stay old, right? And
old wins in college basketball.
Yeah, and so can you still win with a younger roster in college football? I think so. But with these longer seasons, with guys needing to know like what it takes to grind through a season, mentally deal with the season the way we saw the Buckeyes do it last year, the veterans are going to be key for that. And I think Ohio State has a nice blend of guys that have done it and guys that are hungry because they haven't, as we were talking about earlier, really been a part of it.
Opposite side of that, the good news, if you're worried about the quarterback, is that your offensive line is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
You have all the playmakers in the world to throw to. You've got a stable of running backs to help you out. So, like, already there, you have an advantage. And then the defensive line, you've got 2 linebackers who are going to be flying around the football field in Sonny Styles and rivalries, and your defensive backfield is going to kick ass. Like, yeah, I know that those guys can come downhill in the box as well and stop the run if you need a little bit of help. So both of those probable areas of concern might be areas of concern, still have a ton of help behind them.
Yeah, and let's not forget Matt Patricia and the things that he's schemed up in the past. He's probably coached a defensive line that hasn't had a ton of depth, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to go back and look at those Patriots teams and whatnot.
He probably has had a lot of teams that did have some good depth.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But there's probably been some times where it's like, hey, we got to lean on these guys or we got to find other ways to do things. And I think that you lean on his experience of doing a lot of different things to figure out, hey, maybe we don't have this, but how can we still get the results we need?
Also, I trust Larry Johnson.
Yeah,
he's the best defensive line coach that's ever walked planet Earth.
Yeah, and look, even last year, weren't getting pressure. Larry wanted to do things one way. You lose the Oregon game. Yeah, it took a loss to kind of get it done, but you figured out a way to do it, whether it was compromise, whatever happened in the defensive meeting room, you figured out a way to get it done because, frankly, all these guys want to do is win and help these players, right?
At the end of the day, that's all they want to do. Win and help their guys. Hashtag Buckeyes coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Summer is hot, sticky, and buggy. But Modelo is cold, crisp, and smooth. When you're sweating through your shirt and the beach is mad crowded, the lime and salt flavors of a Modelo Chelada hit just right. When the weather's perfect but you're still at work, it's time to clock out and stock up on Modelo. Drink responsibly. Beer and flavored beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway. Refresh your fuel tank, refresh your U-tank with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks. And refresh the vibe for any drive. Refresh at Speedway with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks with Speedy Rewards and try exclusive Mountain Dew Infinite Swirl flavor for a limited time only. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grill Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Health insurance companies are expected to carry health benefits, but CareSource does so much more. We look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals to see the challenges that face our members. Then we help them achieve not just better health, but better lives. Along with great benefits, we also help our members find stable jobs, housing, childcare, and rides so they can find greater independence. At CareSource, we're removing barriers, we're improving lives, we're reimagining healthcare.
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Things are popping at Al's Delicious Popcorn. With over 80 flavors to choose from, we have something for everyone. From classics like caramel cashew, white cheddar, and our famous vanilla butternut, to new flavors like chicken and waffles and spicy barbecue. They are all made fresh and they are all delicious. Visit us online at alspopcorn.com or come see us and experience the best service in town at 1500 Bethel Road in Columbus. Al's Delicious Popcorn.
The Fan is the official station of summertime. Sipping on a lemonade, the smell of fresh-cut grass in the air, and common man playing fart noises on the radio.
Was that a fart?
Ah, summer. The Fan, Ohio's summer destination.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With TrueHold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. TrueHold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since TrueHold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit TrueHold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by The Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at The Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Final segment up for us on the week. We'll be back Monday at 6 o'clock. Hopefully everybody has a kick butt weekend. Get you down to Cincinnati coming up at 8 o'clock. Chase Burns in a skosh of a pickle right now. Top of the third inning, it is 0-0. Bases are juiced. There are 2 outs. We'll keep you updated with what's going on with the Reds, but we're going to get to you there at 8 o'clock. Pat, I was reading this from the Bengal Tiger on 3's website dedicated to LSU, like their version of Letterman Monroe. LSU football has made a third notable off-field hire this past week, with the addition of Ohio State's Sam Petito. Petito, a native to Louisiana, spent nearly a decade working under Alabama head coach Nick Saban, will be LSU's football director of scouting and personnel strategy, sources tell the Bengal Tiger staff. He was hired by the Buckeyes in February of 2024, so what is that, about 16 months, 17 months here?
Yep.
As the director of player personnel, kind of under Mark Pantoni in that category. So, I think anytime you're having staff movement 2 months before the season, it's obviously raises a little bit of eyebrows, being so close, you're getting ready to go into fall camp. But kind of mark that one down. It is a little interesting, the timing of all of this.
I think it's okay, though, because a lot of your summer recruiting stuff has already gone through. Obviously, you'd like to have this going into the Texas game. You want all hands on deck for the official visitors you're going to get for week one and what will be a huge recruiting week. But look, you still have Mark Pantoni at the top running this thing, right?
Yeah.
And he's
pretty good at what he does.
He's the best in the business.
Yeah.
And so he has a staff, right? And Sam, who is very good at his job. You don't work at Alabama under Nick Saban, Ohio State under Ryan Day and Mark Pantoni, and now LSU without being really good at your job. He is from Louisiana. So I got to know Sam a little bit while he was here. I think he'll be missed, but I think this is the 4th time this job has been open in the last 4 years. Or it's turned over quite a bit because guys come in, they have success. Other programs want to bring that into their program. So this will be nothing new for Mark Pantoni in terms of replacing him. And I think there will be in demand. You get to go work and help recruiting for the national champs. Sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty good. Do you know where Amite, Louisiana is? Amite? I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that. It's Cajun. They pronounce things differently down there.
Good point. When I saw it, I said Amite, but you were right. It could
Amite.
It could be pronounced any variety.
Orgeron. Yeah,
exactly.
I don't know. It looks like
Louisiana.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It is like a suburb northeast of Baton Rouge, a little north of New Orleans. Now, the last piece in this article from the Bengal Tiger on 3 said the Amite, I don't know how we're deciding to say it.
The Louisiana native.
He played a part in the Tide when he worked under Nick Saban, landing former Louisiana 5-star recruit Devontae Smith out of Petito's hometown. All right, Devontae Smith had a pretty good college career.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
Yeah, he won a Heisman Trophy, and now he just won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia Eagles.
National championship also.
And his relationship with current Baton Rouge 5-star Blaine Bradford is notable given Bradford's committed to the Buckeyes as part of the program's 26 recruiting class. I just find that interesting how they slipped that in there. It's an LSU site. Guy's returning home. He's got a good relationship.
Right.
Landed Devontae Smith when he was at Bama out of Louisiana. Blaine Bradford committed, which we all made a big deal about, getting someone right out of LSU's backyard. 5-star big prospect, Blaine Bradford. I just thought it was a good job writing there. If any Ohio State fans read that, like, uh-oh.
Yeah, and look, well, I've said this a few times since I started doing this show. I am not a recruiting guru. That is not my area of expertise. My understanding, though, is that Blaine Bradford is very solidly committed to Ohio State. Could this change? Possibly.
It's recruiting, man. Everything changes all the time.
Absolutely. But I don't know if one staffer leaving, even with the relationship there, would change that. Now, could that be how LSU puts on a full court press to get him to flip? Maybe, but I think next time we talk to Berm or whoever, that's certainly a question to ask.
Yeah. Thanks to Phil in the chat. He said Amite is how you say it.
Okay.
Amite, not I'm Amite or Amite. Amite,
right.
Louisiana.
Good to know. I don't know how many times we're going to say that after this.
One time. That's going to be it, unless there's another big 5-star prospect from Amite, Louisiana that we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here today, our fan poll at 971thefan.com or on X at 971thefan. Do you consider Ohio State and Penn State to be rivals in college football? Yes or no? Pat, before you give that answer, what do you think the voting majority says on this?
I would assume they say no.
You would be wrong. That's why you don't assume things, Pat. You know what happens when you assume things?
I do, yeah. Here I am.
It is 52.5% yes, 47.5% no. I like the Penn State game on the schedule. I think it should be played every year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not devastated that game is going away, but I think it's a great spectacle in college football. Penn State recently has been really good. Ohio State for forever has been really good. When those two teams battle, whether it's at the whiteout or not a whiteout at a noon game in Happy Valley, it's great. And when Penn State comes here, the crowd gets rocking. I love that game. Would you define it as a rivalry game? I think over the course of the last 10 years, you would. I mean, it's the closest game consistently that Ohio State plays.
I was going to say, if you were born 1999 or later, the last couple of years, notwithstanding, Penn State Ohio State has been a way more competitive game than Ohio State Michigan has been for that time frame.
Yeah, it's been really good too. Like it does leave you on the edge of your seat watching that game. I mean, for the most part.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday how close these games have been, even though Ohio State's dominated in terms of win losses. I think I would be interested in the demographic or the ages of the voters. Yeah, because I think if you are older, to Nate's point, maybe you don't see it as such. But yes, the recent history, it's been two of the best teams in the Big Ten, two of the best teams in the country almost every year. I don't know how, Georgia and Alabama isn't a natural, they're not in the same state. that's not like a historic rivalry, right?
Yeah, Alabama Auburn just smokes Georgia for the most part until Georgia got them a couple of years ago in the title game.
Right, but that's become a rivalry. I think anytime you have these games where there's a lot on the line, you are two of the top team, all that stuff. Like
you're contending for Big Ten championships against each other.
When it happens over and over again, that creates a rivalry. Is it your historic rival, like Michigan? No, but it's like Michigan State.
It will never be Michigan.
No. But it's like Michigan State towards the end of Mark D'Antoni's run there.
Great games.
Yes, and that became just for a little period of time, and it's had its moments in history where that's been a rival. It is not the rival.
Yeah, 13, 14, 15, like those years.
Exactly.
We're fantastic years for that mini rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
To answer the question, I would probably say yes. I would love to keep that game on the schedule. I know that they're unrivaled and they don't have a team that they're going to play on their schedule consistently, which I think is a bummer for them because you're just rolling a Rolodex of Big Ten teams and you don't have one game a year that you can look forward to against your rival. But yeah, I think for the intents and purposes of playing this game, I mean, it's not Michigan vitriol, Pat.
Right.
But I mean, you got a lot up for grabs usually when those two teams tussle.
Absolutely. And it will be that way again this year before it does go away for a few years. I expect that will be another top 5 game when those two teams meet at Ohio Stadium in early November.
First weekend of November is when that's going to happen.
It's always right around Halloween, it feels like.
Yeah, it does. They'd always do a pretty good job of scheduling that game. Pat, I had a great time with you here this week. What are you most looking forward to doing down in Cincinnati tomorrow? The game or the drinking at the Cobblestone?
Ooh, man.
I heard yes.
Yeah, will you make it to the game?
Yeah, I will absolutely make it to the game.
You're a professional.
My only reason I don't go straight to the game is because I'm a little worried that the Crew are going to lose, and that's never fun.
Oh, come on. Gozdog's getting a goal tomorrow.
That's what I said on our Crew podcast earlier this week. I predicted 1-1 with Gozdog getting a goal in the second half. So we'll see what happens. But look, it's going to be fun again. Cobblestone.
Is Max back?
He is back, yes.
Okay.
And Schulte might be back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From the torso injury?
Yeah, he's questionable.
Okay. I didn't know they had those designations. Patrick, have a fantastic time at Hell Is Real. Everybody have an awesome weekend. We'll get you down to Cincinnati for some Reds baseball next. Have a fantastic one. Talk to you on Monday right here on The Fan.
There's nothing Bo Bishop can't do well, except find competent co-hosts. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We've got a story about a little bean doing big things. Soybeans are used in creative ways you may have never realized to make products we use every day. And Ohio's farmers are growing some of the world's best soybeans. By using and eating soy-based products, you make a positive impact locally and globally. Say hey to the largest ag export in the U.S. Learn more about soybeans at soysecrets.org. This ad brought to you by Ohio soybean farmers and their checkoff.
As America's largest custom home builder, Schumacher Homes believes a top-quality home should be affordable for everyone in the Buckeye State. We work with the leading architects to bring you the latest in design, and then you have the ability to make changes. Not just selecting finishes, but moving walls, adding rooms, literally customizing anything from the ground up. It's a misconception that custom homes have to be expensive. We work within your budget to build an amazing home on your land. Visit SchumacherHomes.com or any of our 9 Ohio locations.
Experience the ultimate gridiron experience at the Ohio State Football Training Camp, presented by Safe Flight, Bob's Discount Furniture, and Weber, happening at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center July 31st through August 2nd. Don't miss your chance to get the first look at your Ohio State football team. Bring your friends and family and dive into the excitement with inflatables, giveaways, and more. Tickets are limited, so get yours today to ensure you don't miss out on the fun. Visit universe.com/OSU Training Camp 2025 to purchase your tickets today.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.